Putin claims winning streak on the front line as Russia presses fresh offensives after refinery attacks. Russia claims major breakthroughs across eastern and southern sectors of the Ukrainian battlefield. Moscow's assault leaves Donetsk, Zaporizhzhia fronts under mounting pressure as fighting intensifies. On CAM, Russian Aerospace Forces unleash fresh strikes on Ukrainian frontline military positions. Zelensky's logistics lifelines hit as Putin's Geran drone campaign targets AFU supply routes and rear positions. Moscow on July 1 claimed fresh battlefield gains as Russian forces continued offensive operations across eastern and southern Ukraine. Russia's defense ministry said its troops captured the settlement of Malinovka in the contested Donetsk region. Moscow also claimed Russian forces had taken control of the settlements of Rovnoy and Lesnoy in the Zaporizhzhia region. The defense ministry said Russian troops continued advancing along multiple sectors of the front line during ongoing operations. Russian officials said assault units liberated 30 additional buildings while advancing in the Konstantinovka sector. In the Krasny Liman direction, Moscow said the 25th Army continued offensive operations against Ukrainian defensive positions. Russia claimed the 67th Motorized Rifle Division captured 4 Ukrainian strongholds during the latest phase of fighting. In the Zaporizhzhia region, Moscow said Geran 2 Seeker and Geran 4 Seeker drones struck power facilities supporting Ukrainian military operations. Russian Defense Ministry footage purportedly showed the targeted facilities losing power after the drone strikes. Russia also said its aerospace forces carried out strikes on Ukrainian strongholds and troop deployment areas across the front line. According to Moscow, the attacks targeted temporary Ukrainian military positions in several operational sectors. The Defense Ministry added that Russian drone units destroyed fuel infrastructure located in Ukraine's rear areas. Moscow said the strikes were intended to disrupt Ukrainian logistics networks, fuel supplies, and frontline sustainment operations. The latest battlefield gains were reported a day after Russia claimed the capture of the settlement of Bogodarovka. Russia's defense ministry claimed major battlefield gains on June 30 from operations carried out the previous day. Moscow said Bogodarovka was captured after Russian forces pushed Ukrainian troops back. Russian Ministry of Defense said, and I quote, assault detachments of the 36th Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade, 29th Combined Arms Army, Vostok Group of Forces, liberated the settlement of Bogodarovka by pushing Ukrainian formations off the lines on the right bank of the Gecha River. In the course of the liberation of the settlement, the enemy lost more than a platoon of manpower, 3 armored fighting vehicles, 7 motor vehicles, over 60 Baba Yaga-type hexacopters. The liberation of Bogodarovka made it possible for the group's units to gain a foothold on the right bank of the Gecha River and disrupt defense of the armed forces of Ukraine in this area. The occupied line creates conditions for further action in the area of Alexandrovka and the advancement of the Vostok Group's troops in Dnipropetrovsk region. Unquote. Russia also released footage it said showed an attack on Ukrainian UAV command posts. A huge shockwave was reported after Russia said it dropped 5 aerial bombs in Donetsk. Russian Geran drones were also said to have destroyed an enemy electronic warfare command post. The reported high-precision drone strike was said to have taken place in Nikopol in the Dnipropetrovsk region. Russia's defense ministry also claimed strikes using 5 OFAB 250-270 aerial bombs in Kyiv. Russia claimed Geran attack drones struck a Ukrainian Special Forces training camp in the Mykolaiv region during a precision strike operation. Russia's defense ministry said Geran UAVs targeted a special operations boot camp near Pribuzky used by Ukrainian forces. Russian defense ministry visuals purportedly showed a Geran drone slamming into the target before triggering a massive explosion. The released footage appeared to show thick black smoke and debris billowing into the air as the strike devastated the compound. Moscow said the Geran drones engaged the designated target in a self-tracking mode during the reported attack. Russia also claimed the operation struck troop concentration areas being used by Ukrainian Special Forces units. The Defense Ministry said the reported strike destroyed depots storing special-purpose watercraft and high-speed motorboats. Russian officials further claimed Ukrainian uncrewed surface vessels were among the military assets targeted during the operation. The Ukrainian military is facing fresh uncertainty, adding to the challenges confronting the country's armed forces as the war continues. Colonel Vladimir Kononikov, commander of Ukraine's 154th Separate Mechanized Brigade, was found dead, according to Ukrainian authorities. Police said the officer was discovered with a gunshot wound, although officials have not publicly disclosed the circumstances surrounding the incident. Ukraine's Operational Command South first announced Kononnikov's death on June 28, expressing condolences without providing detailed information. The Ukrainian military initially said preliminary findings showed no signs of external violence, offering few details about the case. However, police later confirmed that the colonel had sustained a gunshot wound, prompting further scrutiny of the incident. According to reports, Ukrainian authorities have opened a murder investigation as investigators work to determine the cause and circumstances of his death. Officials have not released additional information, and the circumstances surrounding the colonel's death remain unclear. Kononnikov was appointed commander of the 154th Separate Mechanized Brigade last year after serving in other military leadership roles. The brigade, established in September 2023, has participated in combat operations in the Kyiv region and the Donbass during the ongoing war. According to reports, the unit has also been involved in operations around the strategically important areas of Pokrovsk and Kupiansk. The death of a senior field commander comes at a time when intense fighting continues across Ukraine's front lines, with both sides engaged in sustained military operations. Russia carried out another overnight barrage of ballistic missile attacks targeting Kyiv on June 28, marking the latest in a series of long-range strikes against the Ukrainian capital. Ukraine's Air Force warned that multiple Russian ballistic missiles were heading toward Kyiv, urging residents to seek shelter as the threat rapidly intensified. Air raid sirens sounded across central and eastern regions of Ukraine, as authorities issued widespread alerts warning civilians of the incoming missile attack. Officials in Kyiv said the city's air defense systems were immediately activated, with crews working to intercept and destroy the incoming missiles. Loud explosions echoed across the Ukrainian capital shortly before 2 a.m., as air defense intercepts and missile impacts were reported in different parts of the city. A second wave of missile strikes followed at around 2:35 a.m., extending the assault and forcing emergency responders to remain on high alert. The overnight attack triggered fires near a residential building, a service station, and a non-residential facility, prompting firefighters and rescue teams to respond. Explosions were also reported in the northeastern cities of Sumy and Kharkiv, indicating that the missile assault extended well beyond the capital. Russia has increasingly relied on ballistic missile strikes in recent months, as progress in its ground offensives has slowed across several areas of the front line. Ukraine continues to depend heavily on US-supplied Patriot air defense systems, which remain among its most effective tools for intercepting advanced ballistic missile threats. Kyiv has repeatedly warned that its stockpile of Patriot interceptor missiles is coming under growing pressure, raising concerns about sustaining its air defenses during prolonged attacks.